Hey there, ghouls and goblins, and welcome to our Halloween special. Now, the month of October is dedicated to Flamingo Gardens, located in Davie, Florida. The stories that you are about to hear are true. Remember, listener and viewer discretion are advised. Happy Halloween. Well, hello everyone. This is Alexandra from the editing room, and the audio kind of crapped out. So, can't tell you if it was a ghost or just technology, but we still have some incredible stories for you. So, thank you so much for being with us, and on to the story.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra.
I'm Angelica.
And this is Legends of Yesterday. Today, we have a very special guest with us today for our Halloween special. Ooh. If you could please introduce yourself, Danny.
Yes. Hi, guys. My name is Daniella Macias. Please call me Danny. And I am honored to be here with you on your podcast today. Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you
coming on.
I know.
So, for everyone here, I want you to imagine we're in Flamingo Gardens right now. We're in the Ray home. And not only is it our Halloween special, but the universe is just giving us Halloween. It's dark, cloudy outside, lightning speckles the sky.
Yes.
Writer
Speckles.
words.
What a good word.
It's great. It really does set the tone.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, as it gets later on in the day too, and the park just empties out more and more, like, you're just gonna feel, the after hours of Flamingo. It does come alive, and it is a vibe. It is like, it's really something to experience. I'm glad we already get the Ray home to ourselves, which is very special and unique.
It's like so peaceful in here.
Nice. It's nice and quiet.
I
want to spend the night here sometimes. I really do.
Sleep over in the
I just
Ray
hang out
home.
here longer than I need to sometimes, but for sure. Well, before we started,
Yes.
you were talking about your history
Yes.
here in Flamingo Gardens. So I grew up here in Plantation. Well, Flamingo Gardens is based here in Davie, Florida.
Mhm.
I live, I guess, the next town over in Plantation. I grew up there my whole life, and I knew from a very young age that I always wanted to work with animals, and you typically can't start volunteering in any kind of animal facilities or sanctuaries or anything until you're like 13.
Mhm.
And even then, you need a parent to be with you for in case you get into anything.
One would hope, yes.
Yeah, they don't fully throw you to the wolves just yet.
That's good.
Teens,
That's
so,
good.
Okay.
No Mowgli story happening.
No, right.
Got it.
they still need to sign some waivers and stuff in case something happens to you. And but I actually didn't even get in with the animals right away. They had me working. There's a little orange stand if you've been here before, and you make little smoothies and sell little concession stand snacks and stuff. And so I did that in the beginning, and then as I got older, at 15 years old, I went to a high school nearby too called South Plantation High School. Shout out Paladins. and and I actually went there for an environmental science magnet program.
That's cool.
It was awesome, and it was so unique of a school because they actually had an entire animal science horticulture department, but unlike anything else, where we had alligators on property and we had raccoons. We had anything from farm and aqua center,
That's so
reptile
cool.
rooms. We had all these animals at our ability to go and take care of them, but we'd also would do educational stuff with them in the community.
That's so awesome.
It's nice that it's so hands
It
on.
was so cool.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And because of that program, I won a contest through the Irwins on YouTube, actually.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, I have to go down all that with you guys.
That's incredible.
I won a contest because I submitted a video about what we did there in our program, and I was a class manager at the time. And it was right after Steve died. It was 2 years after Steve Irwin
I was going to
passed.
say 2 hours.
2 hours, right? Too fresh, way too fresh. And they would host a contest saying if you care about the environment and you're an animal person in your community, share a video of what you do. They chose my video, flew us out, me and my mom and the girl I won the contest with, and we got to do the zoo and experience Steve Irwin Day over there. It was fantastic.
Oh.
But all that essentially came from just choosing to go to this high school and having that access to that program. And from there, that's what really sent me in the trajectory of like, okay, I'm going to do animals for like the rest of my life. Because all I wanted to do was like get back to working at that zoo as an adult.
Yeah.
And so when I came back to Florida after that experience, like I just started working even more in like different sanctuaries, anywhere that would accept me at like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And I just kept building a resume in like my local community with like anything animal related. And eventually as an adult, I had like dual citizenship. I went and worked at Australia Zoo for a little bit.
That's
I worked in
incredible.
New Zealand. Yeah. And then, so it's always been like animals have been at the like core foundation of who I am and like what I've always wanted to do. With a little things sprinkled in between. I've like been a bartender, worked in hospitality to like fund my trips and stuff.
For sure. Yeah.
But then again, above all else, like the paranormal stuff and all of that has always been there too. Like that's always been my other like passion, but I never knew how to like get into the field of it. And then working here, it kind of just all blended together. This place has so much history to it, and then it just kind of opened doors for me.
I love how you transitioned yourself into the paranormal. We didn't have to find the segue.
Guys, I can turn my mic over.
Yeah,
she's got it.
It found me.
Oh wow, that's so cool. So what made you interested in the paranormal?
Yeah.
I think it's a very natural. I don't know if that was my phone. Sorry,
It's fine.
it's a ghost. I think that, and it's very normal. I think everyone is actually in one way or another like their interest is piqued by the paranormal. Like from a young age. I mean, whether it be like a scary movie that you see, or for me, I think around like that 14, 15-year-old age, like I was already like deep into like the ghost adventure,
Ghost Hunter
shows, like anything that I could consume, I would consume. And you don't really know why, because at that point, it's not like I like thought I could talk to spirits. It's not like I wanted to talk to spirits. It's just like, you know, just something that you want to keep feeding this like thing in you. And then on my 16th birthday, I begged my mom to take me to Yesteryear Village.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like not knowing that it was like just there in West Palm at the time, like, and living here was so close. And we had seen the episode of Ghost Adventures and Yesteryear at the Riddle House. So I was like, that's where I want to go for my birthday. That is like the supreme birthday. It was so cool.
That's pretty cool.
I got to take a friend of mine, and it was just like my mom, but like we go during the day, and it's just like a regular, like,
it's a nice town.
So it was a bummer. Are you saying it was a bummer to?
No, I had my first actual experience there because I went there like a naive punk teenager, you know, messing and poking at things I shouldn't have poked at, and I got my answer. But yeah, like I think like that's kind of where it all changed for me. I had that experience at 16 where when, if you guys know the story of you know, the gentleman who hung himself apparently in the attic, Joseph, you know, in the episode of Ghost Adventures, they very much like emphasized him and like, you know, that he was very much present in that basement, and they actually like keep the door to that basement like locked when it's open to the public. Like you could tour pretty much the entire house except that room. There's like a little hallway where it's like the attic door, there's like a little closet, and then there's like a guest room, and the other two doors are open. And I had like my hands on the door, and
like
I'm
a
like,
bunk.
and I'm like calling Mom, like, Joseph, like, you're not in there. And you're not real, like, I don't know you. Like, do something. And he nothing of him, but like I had my hands on the door. I didn't know that like my mom and my friend and everybody were like already like downstairs at that point.
Yeah.
And I had something like, I felt something like tap me on the shoulder to turn around. And when I turned around, I'm looking into the guest bedroom, and there's still a mannequin that's there like in the corner of the bedroom. And it has like a very like vintagey like wedding dress. I don't know if it's vintage, but like a wedding dress from like that time, like Victorian
the lacy-ish kind of one.
Yeah, I have pictures of it because full circle, I got to investigate it later.
Wedding dresses must be on a mannequin in an
It's
old
the
home.
fact that it was still displayed. It was beautiful.
It's over at the Old Navy School too. They have like the pretty white gowns that are there upstairs, and I'm like, of course, this is great.
You have to
display
have
it.
If you have it, you have to show it. And there was a woman who like was like walking back towards the mannequin, but then she was kind of like looking over her shoulder, like kind of at me, And she went over to the mannequin and then she kind of like kneeled down, and I didn't see the dress actually moving, but she looked like she was like messing with it. And then she looked back at me. We're talking about it. There's a mannequin right there on the dress right there.
We'll add a picture.
I do.
It was like that. And then she like looked back, and I beelined out of that house, and I like ran down the stairs, and I ran into my mother, who was like already out the door almost, not even realizing I wasn't behind her. And that, like, other things happened in that house too. But like that whole experience was like, okay, this is for real. Like this is not something to mess with. And it never really goes away after you have an experience at any age. I don't think it ever leaves you. So as I grew up, I'm like, I think I finally reached an age where I'm like, okay, I feel like I need to explore this more, but I want to do it in a very like controlled, like safe environment. So I seeked out a paranormal group in my area. And that's kind of where that all began.
I think it's so cool too, because we've been hearing more as we've been doing this more about paranormal groups coming together, researching, and finding this interest that the world might not understand.
I
get that.
I had to do it.
I
had to do it. That's a whole family. Like across the room, you'll hear my dad understand.
I love it.
But it's so cool that you can find your community that way.
Yeah.
And since you found your community, you've really grown with what you've done.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that?
Tell us about what you do now.
Tell us about what you do.
You're so cool.
Yeah. Whoa, Danny, you're so cool.
This is so out of my realm.
We'll add little like laser beams and confetti.
Thank you.
That's funny because like ghosts could be out of the realm.
Hey.
I have a lot of those today. I feel like unintended puns. I love unintended puns. Puns. I can't.
That's okay.
Pums.
I like that.
I joined a local group. There aren't that many groups apparently, but this one happened to be based out of like Coral Springs, so it was
cool.
Not far from me at the time. This was right before the pandemic. Our short name is PERS, but it's Paranormal Existence Research Society. It is led by Bill Slevin, who you guys will have the pleasure of meeting soon too.
Yes.
And you all
will as well. He's a wonderful man who essentially started this group to really help people, residential cases essentially that like feel like they have, something paranormal or just something, something going on in their home. And it is a non-for-profit. Like we don't charge for any services or anything. And we essentially like mentor people, and we mentor like full on like families and try to help them find ease in their home, whether we go in and we're cleansing, whether it's just a lot of like checking in. We'll send them like a lot of like different practices and stuff that they could do to kind of higher the vibrations in their homes if they are feeling like anything kind of off, or if it's a new home that they moved into. We've had people like straight up call us telling us about, recent experiences or whatever, and they're ready to like sell their home and like book it. And we're like, please don't do that yet. Like, let us see if we can help you one way or another. And it is all volunteer. So it is really is like out of our time and out of our day. And it's something that we do. We stay on top of things because it's something that we really care about. And we want people to like, to be okay with it. Like paranormal does not mean you need to be like terrified. And things are not always like the movies or the shows where they're very dramatized. Like if we come to your house and it is a residential case, like we have a lot of equipment, don't get me wrong, but we don't come in there like full on Ghostbusters, like open the van and like
vacuum.
Yeah, we're not like putting on a whole spectacle.
So you're not cleaning out the house of spirits.
That's a really severe
firehouse where you just lodge all the spirits in.
It gets, everybody thinks they have a demon in their home.
Oh, no.
It's sad. It's very sad.
That's kind of sad.
It's so sad.
And you're just like in here.
When they started that meme where it's like, I started burning sage and like my skin started irritating.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's you.
Why do I feel itchy all of a sudden?
It's you.
I love seeing those videos though that people have been doing with their Roombas, that they put sage on the Roomba with a crystal and then they're like,
smart.
and I'm like, honestly, self-sufficient.
Genius.
We're in 2025.
Half the battle right there, because some people don't know how to like properly cleanse. Like, self-automated.
Well, one of the things that I really love is that the majority of the paranormal groups in South Florida that we've encountered are non-for-profit.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's like, first of all, what a niche thing to have an expertise in, but something that's also needed for a lot of people, even if it's just like reassurance of self also, because like Angelica and I have talked plenty of times about experience that we had in a house that we grew up in. And, you know, there's things that we don't know how to explain. And then we started watching things like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures. Who was the guy that he was a collector also, and he would go and he would take paranormal objects from home so that they wouldn't have terrible experiences anymore. And it's like all these things for us made us feel less crazy.
Yes, it's validation.
So having that expertise is definitely, at least in our lively experience, needed, because you do, like, now when we moved into our house, we saged and but we're also like, whatever's here, we're roommates now. It's okay.
Energy can linger, and that's the other thing too, like, everybody just chucks it up to like, there's a ghost, there's a demon. It's like, no, like, but there is such thing as like residual energy sometimes that it's like, you know, I mean, wood, this is original flooring.
Right.
Like the amount of like other energies that have passed through and like very, what's the word? Like routinely walked here, like that leaves some type of like fingerprint, they describe it as, or like some type of like imprint on this other thing that can hold energy. And it's like, sometimes you might just get a glimpse of that. And it's not so much that it's like haunting you and wants to harm you and scare you. It's just like, just get a glimpse of something that like, you really can't explain. It's from a different time, it's from a different moment in life and history, but it's like, it's just kind of there. Like, and you just kind of learn to be like, all right, like that's weird, but we move on. Like, and sometimes we're able to just kind of like work with people in that sense. And like, there are some cleansing that you can do that kind of like ease that to like not be so like predominantly felt or seen as often and stuff. But then you also have, I've had cases where like, I'm sure Bill's going to bring up the same case because we always talk about this. Mind you, I joined right before the pandemic, not knowing the pandemic was coming, obviously.
Right.
I joined because it was my way of like being like, okay, like I want to explore this and like I want to see where I could go in this field. The pandemic comes, everything shuts down, the residential cases skyrocket.
Because people have to face their roommate.
Everyone's home. Everyone's hearing sounds that they've never heard before. They are spending too much time indoors. They're consuming so much scary stuff on TV that they've never consumed before. And like, just the pandemic's a really scary time. So like, people were kind of losing their marbles for a little bit. So yeah, we started getting a lot of calls, and Bill's like, I need you to like take a load off of like me and like take over a lot of these cases. So two of my first cases I had, one of them was like a little girl whose like parents were having to come to terms with that. We believe she actually had like multiple personality disorder. She was like 12 years old. Mind you, I'm not a doctor, and I tell really legally, I'm not clinically like diagnosing your child. The great thing about Bill at the time, he also worked as an IT director for like 20 plus years in a rehab and like a rehabilitation center for like adolescents, but people who are in there that basically need to be in there, whether it be for drugs or like actual like mental cases and stuff. So he did work alongside a lot of doctors that he would also like consult in and be like, hey, like these are some of the symptoms that we're seeing with like this client. They're claiming to hear things and like see things, but they're also mixing with these medications that are prescribed to them. Like, can this cause this and that? So like, we would do a lot of like cross-referencing like that. So like in that case, like we're like, we think it's something more that like was kind of going undiagnosed, and like kind of getting into the nitty gritty of that. It's like, there's a lot of emotional, you know, stuff there where it's like having to kind of like have the parents come to term, and then you're working with the child to be like, hey, like this is what we think is going on. Like, you know, this is where we think you guys actually need to get help. It's not with us. The other case that was extreme though was this girl in Boca. She was probably like in her late like teens. She had a boyfriend who had passed, and without her parents really knowing, like she was actively like experimenting in her bedroom with like astral projecting and summoning things.
I heard a lot of that happening too around the pandemic time.
Yes.
Yeah,
especially with TikTok how-tos.
Yes.
All of a sudden, everyone's doing the, it's called the Estes method,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone and their mother's doing it.
But
and I'm
at
like,
home alone or with their
or like
friends.
they rent a hotel room
Yeah.
and they're like, let's just see what happens.
Let's
and
just
I'm like,
experiment. Nothing's happened.
I
that's
mean,
like the scariest thing to experiment
I
with.
don't know if you saw the Netflix movie. I think it's The Hand or something.
Oh gosh.
No, I don't
No?
know.
Okay.
I try not to watch a lot of scary movies, believe it or not. Like,
Okay.
I love this stuff,
I
but I try
understand.
not to get into it.
It was such a cool
understand.
concept, but also 100% believable that people
Yeah,
would do this.
Because it's that idea of friends coming together, messing with something that they don't understand.
understand.
Nice.
Yeah,
And-
it was like a cast hand, and they said, oh yeah, it came from like an actual dead person, and when you hold it, it like connects whatever spirits are in the room are attached to it, and they get possessed. And like it was a game, so they would all like get drunk and then play the game. And Joe and I were watching it, and I'm like, this is so messed up because it was like too real. You're like, oh no.
They sell Ouija boards. Not that there's anything wrong with Ouija boards, and I know that sounds like far-fetched, but they sell your common Ouija board. So like Target,
Hasbro, yeah.
It's a Hasbro
like,
toy.
they'll have, like,
It's a Hasbro toy.
Yeah, and it's like, mind you, it's not the Ouija board that's like the problem. It's the fact that it is a communication tool and put not necessarily into like the wrong hands. It's just like naive hands where it's like, this is a toy, and like they're doing, and it's like you could be opening that line of communication
Right.
unintentionally. Maybe your intentions is to get some kind of reaction, but then you're in a very vulnerable place because you're not controlling who it is you're actually communicating with. And a lot of, especially during the pandemic, like I saw in that case, like you find people who are in very vulnerable positions where they just lost a loved one, or it's a child that is so like, you know, just so like naive to the world and stuff that like things latch on, things will convince you that you are talking to something when it's not what you want to be talking to, and you don't know how to properly close things. Like there's no difference between a Ouija board to like when we pull out a voice recorder and do an EVP session. It's all meant to be tools. It's all meant to have the ability to communicate. It's just like knowing how to properly handle those sessions, open and close them, you know, decompress, de-cleanse your, like to, you know, cleanse yourself of anything after the fact, so like nothing can latch on. And it's like, with that case, with the girl that happened with, like the home itself was a brand new built home. The community was out in Boca. The community itself wasn't even like done being built yet. Like the places were $1 million homes. So Bill and I are like pulling up. We're like, this is a really nice neighbor. Like, what is going on here? This is weird. We're like, maybe it's the land since it's like disturbed and stuff. But still walking into the home, we felt like it was just a very nice, enlightened home. And the parents meet us and they were great. We go to meet the daughter who's in her room. And I remember, I'll never forget like that feeling of like walking through the threshold of like from the rest of the house into her bedroom. It felt like we were walking into like underwater. And I looked back at Bill because I had never felt that before. And I'm like, this is for real. And he's just like, and he felt it too. And both of our eyes like wide, like, what are we about to get ourselves into?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not trained for this. Like, I don't know why I'm here.
I came to help, not to like
I'm not
have
to
this.
screw my life up here. But I ended up being like his like little right hand helper in a lot of these cases. So I got exposed to a lot of things very fast, unintentionally, along with like he would then also take me to like some public places that like we got to do oh my goodness, the prison that got burned down and like finally shut down the other day. Belglade.
Yes.
Belglade.
Yes.
I got to go there. Like that was like a field trip where we got to go, and like he brought all the equipment just to see like this is how we use this and this. And mind you, it was still when it was still up. We have to go during the day if you're going to do public investigations of like places you're not supposed to be, like trespassing, for the sake of like you want to map out the areas that you're going to be in, because in that area particularly there were still active like gang members and stuff. Belglade's not a very safe place, let alone like if you're out there exploring at nighttime. So in the middle of like our night investigation, we go to like enter the jailhouse that we had been in prior, and we heard like 5 cells like slam at the same time, and Bill's like, run, like he just turned around and like told me to run, and he had like,
so not cell block tango, no musical number.
It was a ghost. I'll tell you that.
It wasn't ghost.
It was not a ghost.
Oh, okay.
We were like, there was definitely like humans in there that were not supposed to be in there, and Bill's like, get the heck out of here now.
For sure.
He had like pulled like a gun out just like for our own safety. Not like we're gonna shoot anybody.
Florida.
But I'm just like, why am I in this situation? Like, why am I consistently like
it's all
in these situations? Yeah. Like,
we were recording. I know sometimes you get yourself, and ours was not as serious as that. But when we were recording stuff for our Conspiracy Sisters characters, it was like right when the pandemic was starting to, like, people were starting to get better and people were starting to be let out a little bit more, and we were recording stuff late at night.
Yes,
and we were by the rodeo grounds.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden, like, 50 cats come out of nowhere, and we're like, we're not the guy that feeds you. But then, like,
we met the guy that,
and then the guy drove around.
Yeah.
And then some people were just like, who lived around there would just like walk outside and just stand and watch. And you're like, okay, like, I know I grew up here, but also I guess you just are here.
Yeah.
And then you would hear things in the rodeo grounds, because the rodeo grounds is when there's the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
So you just hear like a clank or something, like, that's a weird clank. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave. This was a fun thing.
You see something out of the corner of your eye, and it's like, I'm exposed here. I'm going to trust that's a person.
I'm in danger.
You know it. Like, you'll feel that shift where it's like, this isn't good. Like, we could be having fun and everything's all fun and games, and you're like, all right, cool. Like,
and we're out there like, what's up, everybody? And then we're like, you know what? We shouldn't be doing this right now.
Bad idea. Like, even doing stuff here in the beginning, which I'm sure we're going to segue into, not trying to naturally segue.
I mean,
that's a great, that was the next question. It's fine. Danny's also psychic. I'm just going to put that out there.
Some of you guys might know, especially in our improv shows, segues are
our segues are the weirdest segues.
Our terrible transitions.
I wish I would have heard it then. I wonder where you would have went with it.
This is fantastic. We're loving these
talking
stories.
about ghosts. We're in a place with some, and then we would have moved on.
That's what would have happened. So if you wanted to hear,
those are our incredible segues.
I was going to say that I've had the opportunity to investigate here before. We've been now doing these like public tours and stuff. But when I was kind of like messing with things at first here, I didn't know what I was going to get. I've heard so many stories working here throughout the years. And I was always told, like, you know, when you first start working here, you're not going to really feel it. But then, like, once you kind of get accepted by the gardens, like, the gardens will really start to open up and, like, make itself known to you. And, like, you'll see these spirits and you'll feel these energies that, like, everybody else does encounter if you work here long enough. And we've had straight up poltergeist, like, situations to actual, like apparitions being documented, to now I can give them more, where it's like, I have like EVPs recorded for you guys answering direct questions. I have SLS stuff. I have, you know, I had further validation for them. But at first, one of my animal curators who, you know, oversees my department, she has worked here. No offense, Laura, I love you, but I always joke that, like, you've worked here longer than I've probably been born, and I love you. But she's very emotionally, spiritually attached to these grounds. Like, this is her home. And when she heard that I was part of a paranormal group and that I wanted to kind of start poking around here because no one's ever done that before, she wasn't too happy at first. And she's just like, you need to, like, not bug these things. Like, don't do anything disrespectful. I'm like, I would never. I'm like, you know me. I'm like, I'm just here, like, I'm just curious. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, summon anything. Like
the next day, Laura walks in and there's just, like, this...
Everything's on fire.
20 guys.
Like,
hey, what up, Laura?
Like, no.
Smoking in the corner.
I'm like, no, like, I really just, like, want to check it out after hours. So they did start to give me, like, a little bit of access. After the first time I investigated, the next day I worked Flamingo. And at the time, when you're an animal caretaker, and I was in shows, you are the last person in the park. And, like, you guys will see in a little bit, like, it does get a little eerie when you're here. And it, like, the time of the year and stuff, like, it gets darker earlier and stuff. So you're sometimes here like almost in the dark by yourself, and it's a big property. And one of the last things I was doing, I was in our clinic, and I was feeding baby birds and these things called like brooders, or like little like incubation things. And we have them like on shelves, and they're in rows. So there was the bottom shelf that I was working on. I was literally like on my last few, and I just felt a hand go like almost on my butt, but like a little bit above my butt, just kind of like brush against me. No HR yet. There was nobody. It startled me that I fell on my butt, and I didn't even have to look behind, but I just kind of did one of these, and I'm like, I know there's not going to be anybody there, and I know there's no cats, like nobody's in the area. And I just pulled out my phone, was sitting on the ground. I'm like on the verge of crying, but I'm laughing. I'm like, we're just gonna keep it together. Because that was the first time I've ever been touched by like something I couldn't see. So I texted my Flamingo Garden group chat. I'm like, I just got touched. And my curator Laura is like, I told you. She's like, I told you not to. I'm like, no, like it wasn't menacing. It wasn't like they like hurt me. It was just like hey, like, we know you're here, like we know you're messing with us, so we're gonna start messing with you, kind of thing. Because I worked here years prior, and I never had anything like that. And so I was like, all right, like respect, I get it. Like, so it's been really cool though. Everything kind of blending, the way that everything's kind of like found its way to just kind of, it all lined up to here where it's like I could do both. I could be in my park with my animals where I feel so happy and at peace. But now I also get to like bring in that paranormal like education side of it that I've been pushing for years. Because I'm like, there's such a cool side to this park and the history to this park that like people want to know about. People want to explore that. People have curiosity about it. So it's been really cool to have it all come together like that.
That's awesome.
Talking about exploring.
Whoa.
I'd like to explore with you some of the ghost stories.
Here's another segue.
There it is.
There it is.
Segue.
Those are really,
That's exactly what would have happened.
Subtlety is not
many times.
I love it.
Tell us about the stories that you have.
Yeah, what are like
the Ray home, the grounds, the gardens?
Yeah. So what's funny is prior to actually like preparing for these public tours, it was very much like just hearsay of like things in passing. Like Laura had a lot of experiences, but like I've heard stories about things that happen in gift shop. There's a lot of different departments here, so it's like I very much stayed in my area, my department, so we kind of only heard that. But like in passing, you would hear stories get passed around. So when they told me like, okay, we'll allow you to do one public tour and like we'll see where it goes, I'm like, I went full like detective mode, and I just like was showing up on like my days off, and I was just like with a notepad and just like interviewing people. I'm like, what have you had happen? Like, tell me what's going on. Like, what is going on? So I did accumulate like a lot of stories. Jolene, who you guys have also are going to meet or have met at this point, she was such a wonderful reference point too, because she's like a human history book of Flamingo Gardens. So she knows so much stuff, and I didn't know her prior to doing these tours. Like we all worked here at the same time, but I've never crossed paths with her. And like now, like she's like my BFF. Like if I'm getting ready to do a tour, she's been in all of my tours just to kind of help me and like help me inside the home. And she's wonderful. So she kind of like tagged along as I would interview people, and she was gaining information she had never known. One of the more popular stories, we had 2 long-term employees from Flamingo working in the gift shop at the time. One of them was very like, it was very known that she didn't believe in the paranormal. She was very dismissive of it.
One of those.
She's very hard on the outside. Like she's a badass, Genevieve. And then Candy, who's just like this very bubbly, loving woman, like big personality. So they're talking amongst themselves in the gift shop. There's other people around. And the way that they both experienced it was whatever conversation they were having, they were kind of like kneeling on the counter.
Gossiping.
For sure, as you should.
on the hour, on the work time.
It makes it better.
And there was like a cup of like pens and pencils, whatever, and a pair of scissors there on the counter. They both witnessed this pair of scissors lift up out of the cup holder, turn upside down so that the blades were in the air and open, and land on the desk, and they stood for like a good like 3 to 5 seconds and then fell.
That's not terrifying at all.
No. But what was so validating, not that we wouldn't believe Candy, we love Candy, but like for Genevieve to experience it and to confirm it to be the exact same thing she would. Like, they were both right there. It was right in front of them. That was really cool, and everybody heard about that when it happened. But with Candy in particular, like, she has worked in the gift shop for so long, so like she's often like the first person in or the last person out, and like she would hear her name being called in and out of there, but like she's the only one like in that building over there, and she's just like, okay, like you just at some point you get very comfortable with just like chucking it up to be like, all right, like it's just the spirits again, or it's just somebody messing with me again. Like,
are the scissors still in existence?
I'm sure they are.
They should be framed.
That's a good question. Actually, I've never
shadow box
I should go
scissors,
see the scissors if they are still there,
or maybe not framed because
we want to see if they
spirit
do it. Yeah, but
you
like
shadow
why
box
the
them, but
scissors?
you don't glue them, and then they just go.
Yeah, but like why the scissors? You know, why that day?
Yeah.
I tried to ask her, like, do you remember what you guys were like talking about? She's like, it was very like just catty conversation. Like it was nothing like talking about the spirits or anything. So it's just like a hey, like I'm here kind of thing. There was a gentleman who worked here for a number of years, and he retired about 2 or 3 years ago. His office is like in the same building, but like on the outside of the gift shop. And he would often tell us that like he would just be sitting at his desk. It's a very small office, so from like one wall to the other, he would often see just like apparitions, just like walking from one wall in through the other, just like a traffic way, like a highway in front of his desk. And he's like, they never acknowledged him. He never acknowledged them. It was very much like, I'm gonna pretend like I don't see you, but like he wasn't fully like scared.
What a
like
good employee. I'm not going to pay him any mind. I'm just going to keep working like nothing happened.
He was very like comfortable because he dealt with it for so long. It was such like a normal thing. And now Candy actually inhabits that office. So I asked her, I'm like, do you see things? She's like, I do feel like uncomfortable there. She's only had it for a couple of years, so maybe they haven't warmed up to her.
They're like, well, I walk here.
Yeah.
Why is there a new person?
He could almost sometimes like describe what they looked like, and he would often describe them as like very like war, like army, like soldier looking men, like from older times. And then sometimes he did describe some like Native American looking figures as well, like apparitions and stuff. So, but again, he never like engaged. So he's just like, I let it be.
Yeah, they probably think Candy's going to engage.
Yeah, and Candy's just like, Candy gets her like hair pulled. She says that she gets tapped on the shoulder a lot, but she's just very much like, don't mess with me. I don't mess with you. Like she doesn't want to like push it.
Please leave my hair alone.
Yeah, she's so sweet. Candy's such a sweetheart. So it's like, you feel bad for her, even though like, you know, they're not like harming her, but they're all like, it sounds like bullying.
Yeah. Stop picking
on Candy.
That's what we always talk about, like the house we grew up in, that like things would happen, then you're like, okay, stop it.
Yeah.
Can you please stop it? Why'd you move my homework? Literally, why'd you move my homework? What is that? And no teacher will believe me if that happens.
They don't believe a dog. They won't
believe the homework.
It's like Candy, you walk in, someone pulled my hair.
So,
who Candy?
Come on.
Who Candy?
That's literally how it is. Like Candy is so like, I love Candy. I hope she sees this. Like she's such a character. So it's just like, any conversation with her, you're just kind of like, what else, Candy? Like, what else is going on? So then for her to be like, guys, like, I swear there's like something messing with me. Like, we all like really do believe her, but it's like, I think she also knows. She's like, what's the point? And she's like, what am I going to say? Like, they believe me, but like, there's nothing that I could do to like prove it. And like, so she just lives with it, and she's a great sport.
100 other instances that Candy's encountered, and she's like, no one's going to believe me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll read about it like a
conversation with someone.
Yeah.
One of the guys in the war uniform sat down and was like, so what's up with you?
I love her. She's so good. I've asked her to come do like the tour, like to come hang out like when I do them, but she doesn't drive at nighttime, poor thing. Like that's how she is. She's like, it gets too dark, it's too late, like I can't drive. But it's that
I've had
dark.
enough ghosts in my office.
Yeah, I was like, I get
I don't
it.
need one in my car.
She'll leave her little office light on for me though when I'm doing the tour, so people can like see into her office. So
That's
she's
so fun.
very kind to do that. And I mean, those are kind of like the fun, like, oh, like these are things that happen to like us here.
Oh, no, we're getting to the dark stuff.
There's dark stuff that have happened in and around the property that I was surprised they let me be able, like they allowed me to like be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because at first, mind you, I've been trying to get at this for like years. And at first they're like, no, it's kind of like Disney World. They're like, we don't want people to like know that. They're like, they don't want that information out that happened on property.
Every day is a magical day.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, like we don't want to scare people from like not coming here. But like one of the more popular stories is there was a woman apparently who came. I don't know the year off date. I should have my notes. I'm sorry, but it wasn't that long ago. It was probably within the last like 10 years that she came in as like one of the first guests in the morning. The park never really gets too busy other than like if we have like festivals going on and stuff. This was not like on a festival day. So like you will remember like somebody walking through the gift shop, like there's only like 30 to 40 people throughout the park. So like you'll remember their face. So like she came in, she ends up going to the cafe in the morning, waiting for one of the first tram rides to start. They say at the cafe she was by herself. She wasn't really engaging with like feeding the flamingos or anything. She didn't buy anything to eat. She was kind of just like there. She looked like she was kind of like just to herself and kind of just like staring off at things. She got on the tram ride. There's a part of the tram ride that starts to take you to the back where like our mangroves are, the orange groves are and stuff, like where we do have a lot of the citrus and all that stuff still growing. She got off at the banana trees. We don't stop at the banana trees, but she got off and she took her own life at the banana trees, like with everybody kind of there. And I tried to do enough research. I never got a name, but I had several different departments verifying that story. And then when it really like solidified was like when I had like some of the higher ups, when they caught wind of what I was trying to like investigate about, they validated it for me too. But they wouldn't give me like details to like share. But they're like, yeah, that happened. I was like, okay. I was like, so something like that. There were a lot of cases from back in the 80s that they believe that there were at least like maybe 1 to 2 serial killers that have never been caught that were disposing of women's bodies in like suitcases and stuff in the area. Because out here apparently used to be like mad dumping grounds.
Yes.
For like
we
moms.
have a lot.
You guys should know
Also,
about that.
Yes.
Hello.
There's over 20 cold cases that you can look at the Davie website.
And there's rumors too.
Yeah.
So it's weird because a lot of the dumping grounds and stories, it's some are rumors that didn't happen, like they're urban legend. Some are rumors that once you get far enough, it's cut off.
You gotta go back.
And then there are some things that are like public knowledge that this person, because of this.
I get that because I feel like I don't have as much experience in like fully diving and investigating. Like I'm the person that likes to like show up and I'll just start talking to people and that's how I investigate, not like getting into research.
Which is a great way to investigate. I think that's like one of the cool things. And even thinking about you with your detective notebook, the conversations. So much about history and then like tying together the stories with the paranormal experiences. It's so much having conversation. There's so much knowledge to be had just from talking.
And there's so many people around Davie today that were there when Davie was first started, because Davie's history, we always say it's very rich, but it's very young. But like so much happened in such a short amount of time that you're like, wow, that's great. Like you were there when that happened. That's wild.
And the difference between ghost adventures, something that they don't understand.
Come on, understand.
Yeah.
It's not just about shouting out into the universe. It's also about having or trying to initiate a conversation.
Yeah.
Well, that's something funny that we found out when we do like late night stuff with the Old Navy School.
Yeah.
And they're so fun. They're the nicest people. And they, like, you're there at night, and then people do their own thing with the ghost investigations. And then you get a bunch of ladies in the room, and we're like, let's just gossip with the ghost.
Yeah.
And we're like, so what's the deal? Like, what's going on? And then you get conversation, and you're like, nice. And then you get so much information, and then someone else goes in, how old are you? What's going on?
What's 2 plus 2?
What's 2 plus 2? And you're like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. I don't math.
If someone walked in, like a stranger, and they just start asking, like, what's 2 plus 2? I'm like, I don't want to have that conversation. Like, just talk to me.
17.
Like, just engage with
17.
you. 6, 7. Just, like, I don't, like, you just, and like, even when talking to spirits, if I walk into here, if you guys weren't here right now and I had access to this place by myself, I'd be like, what's up, guys? How's it going? Like, I talk to them like they're the mannequin. Like, hey, I'm just passing through. Like, don't mind me. Like, I'm not like, where are you right now? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Move
Can
it.
you? And it's like so intense. I'm like, who wants to have a conversation with you like that? Like, like, just be chill. Like, if it's something intelligent that wants to engage with you, it's a human. Like, and it wants to, like, just, if it talks to you, like, it's because, like, you're really cool and, like, you're chill and, like, you're not, like, hard to talk to. You make yourself like so confrontational, like so like tense, like the slightest like little type of like, oh my god, like they're gonna be like, whoa, like I'm not gonna,
this guy's here again,
like this guy, like,
I'm gonna hide in my corner.
Like you gotta be cool, man. Like keep it cool. And that's where, like, I try to keep that. Obviously your nerves can be very much like on edge when you're in a new place or you're just by yourself, and you kind of start to feel that little creepiness like creep in. But like that's like the mind over matter, where it's like, you know why you're here. You're here for a reason. So like stick to the plan and like see what happens. If you're not cut out for it. I love that people love the paranormal.
Yeah.
I don't love that everyone just tries to take it upon themselves and like become a paranormal investigator overnight because of what they see on TikTok or because they see on social media, that they see on TV, when it's like, I'm not saying I did everything right, but it's like I wanted to at least go and seek out like resources to like, if I'm going to explore this, like let's explore this like smart, like let's do this correct, like let's try to do
let's
this.
Let's not
like,
open up a portal to the nether worlds because I saw it on TikTok.
Well, what's funny is that we were interviewing Jolene here last time, and I'm going around getting B-roll, and I'm like, someone's watching me do stuff while I'm doing stuff, and I'm like, chill, okay, I'm moving around here, and like you check in real quick, you're like, this is a good thing, I promise.
Cool.
And then I went into the bedroom that's over there, and there's 2 mirrors facing each other. I go, Jolene,
I don't like that. I don't like it.
Jolene, did you know this is happening? And she's like, oh yeah, that's so funny. I'm like, that's not funny for me.
I was like, it's funny because I tell her all the time, like, that shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't be like that.
Like, again, no disrespect, if that's what you guys want, fine. But like, on a day-to-day, you don't need to have that. Like, maybe you can move it occasionally. Like, it doesn't have to.
Or just put a cloth over it or something.
You know,
the room is beautiful. The home is beautiful. We don't need more mirrors.
No. Well, that's like in my room. I've got my vanity that faces my bed, and I cover it every night because you shouldn't have. I believe in this, that you shouldn't have mirrors facing you when you're sleeping or wherever you are resting or whatever. So I cover it every single time. And one time I laid down and I didn't cover it, and I was like, something. You know that moment that I'll put the clip in here in Madeline when the nun's like this, and then she just goes, something is not right. And then she wakes up and Madeline has a fever.
Yeah.
That's what the feeling was. And I was like, no. Put the blanket over it, and I was like, this is good. I'm gonna go stay up a little bit longer.
I get that. Like I mean, I'm 32 years old, and like my husband laughs at me. He's like, you don't want to sleep with like complete darkness. It's not that I'm scared that I'm gonna have like a ghost by my side or anything. It's just more so like there are some things that like you set like your own environment of like comfortability. So like if you like, people will say like don't have mirrors on you and stuff. So like if you make a routine of like, I'm gonna cover this like just in case, not that something's ever happened to you because you had a mirror on you. It's like makes you feel better. And then the second like you forget to do that, you're like, something's off. I feel something's off. Like, something could happen because something is off. Like, it's very, like, and that's what, like, with him, like, I just like to have, like, a little bit of, like, I don't want to be in pitch blackness and, like, not being able to see, like, my own hand in front of me. Like, people sleep in complete darkness, like, that freaks me out. I don't understand
she can do it.
I love it because there's no distraction. You're just, it's lights out.
Well, she sleeps so well.
To the opposite effect, I like a window open, so I can see, like, what time of the day it is.
That freaks me out too.
That's when natural light.
I think that's great. But so now I don't sleep in complete darkness because I keep, like, a window open.
Meanwhile, I have a nightlight in my room, full disclosure, and because I get sleep paralysis and night terrors.
Wow.
So super fun, super fresh.
Fun.
And I know the sleep paralysis actually got better after we moved out of our parents' house because of the energy that was there with some of the spirits that were in the house, like 100%. They don't like going in my room.
Yeah.
So, but I just became cool with them. And
sorry to interrupt. Was that home here, like in South Florida, or
like.
Yeah, so maybe we'll hook up with you guys and have an investigation.
It would help
like
explaining a lot. There's been, like, we've seen teenagers, we've seen people that you could tell are from, like, old Florida, like 1909 kind of, like, gear wearing. I mean, like, we've seen a lot of stuff throughout the house, but, like, when you kind of, like, it gets to the point where you go, hey guys, stop, and then they're like, oh, okay, chill, and you're like, nice, roommates, okay, cool, everything's fine.
And talking about roommates. Actually, we had the pleasure of going on the ghost tour investigation here.
You did one of my tours?
Yeah. We did the first one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
We weren't in your group because that group was very full. And we're like, we'll go here.
I heard.
Danielle, what's her name?
The other one?
Yeah.
So, funny story, she wasn't supposed to be, like, my original tour guide girl. She was not, like, last minute.
Okay.
She kind of was last minute. She was Jolene's friend.
Okay.
Oh my god, she only did that. That was the only one she's done. She has not been.
So we got a limited edition tour.
Yes,
okay.
Yes,
it's
cool. Very fun. I can't. Her name is slipping my mind, but I have it in my text right now. But I do remember your faces now at night because I talk in the beginning, and I have everybody in the room, and then I'm kind of like sorting everybody. And after the fact, I think I did at some point have to like
insert picture of us with Danny and Bill here.
Yay.
Okay,
thank you. We've done like 5 tours already since. It's been pretty great. And weirdly enough, they don't want to do one in October because we have like a lot of stuff going on.
That's so funny.
I'm like, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I saw the next post was for November.
Yes.
And I was like, oh.
Like, we should have like a special, like, not on Halloween, but like we could do like a tour, just one that focuses also more in here rather than like walking around.
Like a more intimate kind of thing.
That's so cool. This is like the highlight part of the tour when we get to come in here and do an actual EVP and like we get to pull out all the gadgets and stuff. But like to be able to spend more time like that. Would have loved to do it. Maybe next year. I'll talk to more people.
Keep watch, guys. You might see that
just email Flamingo Garden. We would love
to do more tours. But yeah, we are going to do November. So please come back. Now this is like my personal invitation.
Oh,
love to have you guys.
It's formal. Oh my goodness.
Actually, we were talking to Jolene, and this is like preview. But we were talking to Jolene if we come in character as the Conspiracy Sisters and do like our fake investigation, but if you and Bill are there and like
that would be hilarious. Heckle us.
You heckle us.
Yeah. Because we're
the greatest ghost investigators in all of Florida.
Spirits in the rail? What's
that about?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can tell us how we're the worst.
Okay, what the
yes.
We told Jolene and she was like, I think that's very funny. I go, just imagine me hiding in a bush and popping out. And she's like, honestly, that'd be great.
Give me the heads up so I don't like piss my pants. But yes, 100%.
Well, I'll be there when you turn around this time. Rather than no one being there.
Right.
And that's what matters.
One of the tours, I don't know if it was the first one, if you guys were in my group, I feel like it was probably like closer to like the second or third. But how we like kind of come around the side of the Ray home to come onto the Ray lawn when we're getting in here. Mm-hmm. We have like Josh the bear and everybody like onto the side. One of my tours, I had a family be like, yeah, by the way, there's like still a guy over there. You guys have to like tell him to come on in. I'm like, there shouldn't be anybody over there. And they're like, no, like we just saw a gentleman like walk from like there's like two bushes.
Yeah.
They're not far apart. They're like, we just saw them off from like one side of the bush to the other. And I like start walking. I'm like, can you guys go check if there's somebody over there? 'Cause there shouldn't be anybody over there. And like, I had like 3 people over there, like within seconds, like checking out. Cause we were coming still like from the sidewalk. And they're like, we're confirming there's like nobody over here. So I'm like telling the family, I'm like, there's nobody over there. And they're like, we swear we saw somebody. My last tour too, we were on Mount Flamingo. Mm-hmm. And I give them my whole spiel and I let everybody kind of wander for like a couple minutes. And I kind of walk off like almost the end of the hill and I start calling people. I'm like, tell me if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but I'm pretty sure I see some like a light, like an orb, like a light orb, I guess, just like off in the distance. And I see it kind of like swing and it would kind of come in and out. And I had a couple people come and they were like seeing it too. And I'm like, we get that a lot out here. There shouldn't be anybody over there. This is like 9 o'clock at nighttime and the darkness, like it, over there was just like more of like our property with like our back lake and everything. Like nobody lives back there. Nobody should be back there. So it kind of just looked like a little like a willow light dancing almost, but it wasn't a firefly either. That's like it was a really big light. Yeah. And they saw it too. So like we're starting to act like, that's what I was telling Bill. I'm like, I think as we're doing more of these, like they're starting to warm up too, to be like, all right, like we know you're not doing anything like bad. So like they're starting to like kind of play along with us a little bit and give us a little bit more. Yeah. And so we're starting to get a little bit of like visuals and stuff, which is awesome.
Really cool. Interesting because when we did it, we almost felt like, why are you here tonight? It's my bedtime.
Yeah, like especially in here, I was telling my mom because I also didn't want to interrupt because Bill had jumped over here for a minute and like standing just over here in the middle of the sunroom, and I was like, someone's totally like, why are you in my house? And she was like, really? And my dad knows that like I sense things a little bit more than he can. Yeah. And he was like, but like, who is it? I'm like, it's a lady. And she's like, I'm kind of tired. Why are you here? Right. And I'm like, yeah, that is valid point.
They say Mrs. Ray. I think that one too, like we've gotten like EVPs, at least like one EVP like each time. Like we've gotten somebody. So like we've typically gotten a woman. Jolene also believes that there's the energy of Jolene's mother, I believe, because she stayed here. That mother-in-law suite room or whatever was like partially hers, and she went through some depression when like her and her husband separated. All this stuff. So like it could be either or. And but this last tour, the last one I did, we actually got like male voices coming through the EVP, which was a first, but I don't believe it was Mr. Ray. And we had some other like further validations about like the name George or something. There was a whole like story. You'll have to ask Bill about that because he'll remember. He does more of the sessions here, but there was like a whole correlation, and it was like the first time we were getting like a male in here, and I'm like, that's really cool. Like we're starting to see now like the different energies that kind of just probably like pop in and out, but it's never anything like I said, like menacing. It's never anything that like you feel like you're gonna go home and be followed and like heebie-jeebies. It's like there's just stuff going on here, and like if you're lucky, you feel it, you see it for a second, and you tell it like, hey, I would come out of no like disrespect or anything, and like that's how it is when you work here. You just kind of like you work alongside the energy, and you're very aware that it's there, but it doesn't mess with you. It just kind of just like, hey.
You gotta like, why are you here? Gardens open up for you.
Whoa. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. I wanted to know if there's any like sweet stories that you have, like my last question, like any like sweet stories of any of the energies here, or anything that you think is like for you one of the coolest things about starting to do the investigations more here.
I think that although when you think paranormal, essentially you think of the spirits of like humans and stuff and loved ones that have passed, but a lot of people seem to forget that we're a wildlife sanctuary and wildlife park as well. And just as many people as we have come through the door and stuff, we have animals that come in through our doors every single day through our wildlife clinic in our hospital, and we do our very best to save them, rehabilitate them, and get them back out into the wild. There are some animals here that get deemed non-releasable, and they become wildlife ambassadors for us at Flamingo. And I've worked in that department. I've been very honored to work with some incredible animal ambassadors throughout the years, everything from Buddy, our panther. I'm gonna get emotional. Buddy, our panther, to Sweet Pea, our Virginian opossum, Roxy, some amazing birds, like so many incredible animals that like have had such an impact on my life and people who have worked with them, that when they pass, we have a very special area in the gardens that we lay them to rest, and we go and we pay our respects. And I do like to think that sometimes you could feel their energy too, even when we just like talk about them, because I think animals, like they just like never leave you, like that saying of like, to them, or like for us, like they're like kind of just like part of our world, like temporarily, like, but to them, like we're their entire world, we're their entire like being, existence, from like some of them we've had from like when they were babies to like the day that they die, like, and we're everything to them. So it's like
crazy to think that they can make such an impact. But it's such a short period of time in comparison.
But they never, I like to think that they don't leave the gardens either, that they like hang out, and they, you know, if we're lucky, like we do feel them every now and then, or like we have guests who will come and like bring pictures of them from when they visited years ago and they got to meet that ambassador. And it's like a moment of just like connecting with that energy again. And I love those kind of moments. And like, that's the wonderful thing about this park, is like you get a lot of that too. There's a lot of happiness outside of like, you know, the history and the, you know, just like the beautiful like horticulture aspect, the flora and fauna stuff. But like, yeah, our animals are like the heart of this place. And to be so fortunate to like be on the animal team, the animal care staff team, to like make those connections with them. And even if you don't work here, but you're a guest who comes here once every few years or every week because you're a member here, like you build those relationships with these animals too, and you're a part of their journey as well. So it's like you can come and still visit that energy, and it's all very much here.
That is so cool to hear, because the animals are such a huge part of, even when we were kids doing tours, that was what our face-to-face first interaction with some animals that we would hear about on Animal Planet. And even Josh the bear. We love Josh the bear.
I love Josh the bear.
So it's so cool to hear, and to hope that there maybe one day or one night we'll see someone walking around.
You just see a bear. Well, Josh is around, but like you see like a panther.
Yeah, that's just like, hey, can you imagine those paws on you?
Funny enough, I don't know if I should share this. Funny enough, I did feel those paws on me playfully. Could have ended my career as a bartender in a second, and he was such a gentle baby, because we had Buddy from when he was a baby. He was barely a year, I believe, when we got him. He was illegally owned by like an MMA fighter or something. He didn't have like, the proper paperwork, whatever, and he had escaped. He was known for a short time as the Parkland Panther, roaming the streets out there, because it was like after New Year's, and he got startled from all the fireworks. They didn't have a proper enclosure, so he got confiscated, and he ended up being ours. And so I was involved in like helping raise him from when he first got here. And I have a video of him. I would play with him at the end of the day, and I would like, I fed him and everything, but I would play like hide and seek. So he would be like at one end of his enclosure, and I'd like run, and I hid behind his like little night house, and I ducked on the ground. Forgot that there's like this slight gap between the fence and the floor. He slid under the night house, and he just put both his paws on my hand, and I froze, but he immediately like there was
like the no claws thing.
Yeah, he was just like a house cat.
Like a cat,
Gotcha. Tag, my turn.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, like you could have ended my life in a second as this panther. And he was just a playful kid.
So
Who's a good boy.
What's up? Why are you still there?
Oh my God. Like, he was probably so confused, like, what's wrong with you? Like, relax. And
why did I
seriously, like the ghost, like, bro, like relax, like everything's okay. Like it was I'll never forget that. I have it on video where I was like, I'll cherish that moment forever.
That's so cool. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for the
so fast.
stories. Yeah. We could talk forever
Thank
and
you
ever.
guys.
Let's meet in the afterlife.
And then we'll
Yes.
go back here and we'll be like, hey, what's up,
This is our
girl?
meetup.
Okay, cool. Done.
So if anyone would ever like to find any of your stuff, what are some projects that you have coming up or things that you
I'm plugging. I've never plugged.
Yeah.
Plug. Plug it in.
I
Can't say that.
I'm always inviting you guys to come check out the beautiful Flamingo Gardens here in Davie, Florida. If it's not myself here to come and visit, we have such a wonderful staff. From the moment you walk in through gift shop to the people talking about our animal care department, our historical home here, everything in between. So come and check us out here. We always have events going on, especially around now the holidays. We have our beautiful fall festival coming up with little hay rides, and we do animal encounter shows every single day, and we have live music and really fun stuff. My personal Instagram, I guess, is Lurk Here.
I love it.
Lurk Here, and I'll post on there if I'm ever doing any kind of like the ghost tours that we are doing. We're going to promote it on Flamingo Gardens page, but on my personal page as well. And if through my paranormal investigating group, if we're ever doing any public investigations, or if we're doing any kind of like outreach, educational presentations, because we do that a lot of like local libraries and stuff like that. And you ever want to come check us out there, follow my page, or PERS, Paranormal Existence Research Society.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Danny.
And happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. That's right. Thank you guys.
Thank you. My name's Alexandra.
I'm Angelica.
This is Legends of Yesterday. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.